Hey, it's Chris. It is Thursday, May 16th, and let me let you behind the scenes a little bit. So I initially made and actually uploaded a video on the debates that we're going to have, the debates between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. One is June 27th, one is September 10th. But then something happened that I really wanted to talk about, and I felt like my debate video was a lot like the debate video I made yesterday, so I was like, let's get rid of that video and make this video instead. Okay, so while I was making the debate video, my phone blew up with messages. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because like I'm popular, but not that popular. And what it was a bunch of news alerts that Joe Biden, actually Attorney General Merrick Garland, sort of at the behest of Joe Biden, had turned down Republicans' requests to release the audio and video of the interview President Biden did with special counsel Robert Hur as it related to his retention of classified documents. Okay, so you've got all that. So essentially what Biden said is, I'm not going to give you the audio and video of my interviews with Robert Hur. I'm going to assert executive privilege over it, which is super interesting. So let's dial back, reverse, rewind. Remember that Hur was a special counsel who was tasked with investigating that fact that Joe Biden had kept some classified documents from his time as VP, from his time in the Senate, had kept them, and he shouldn't have. Obviously, Donald Trump has, I think, a much larger problem as it relates to retention of classified documents. But let's talk about Biden. So Hur is appointed. He conducts an investigation. He interviews Biden, and he comes out with a report that essentially says, I'm not going to charge Joe Biden because I don't think he would be convicted because he is, and let me quote, a quote, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Yeah. Which was obviously a gigantic deal because a majority of the public already believes that Joe Biden is too old for office. He's 81, too old for the office and not capable of doing the job. It's one of the fundamental questions he has to answer in this election. It's why he's doing the debates. Okay. So that description was a huge problem. So Republicans in the House, James Comer, who's the head of the Oversight Committee, immediately said, well, we want everything we can get about this special counsel investigation. We want the transcripts, we want the audio, we want the video, we want everything, because this is about the competency of the guy who is running the country. So the transcripts have been released to them, just, the written transcript, but they obviously want the audio and video. And let's be honest, why they want it. Like, they're going to say they want it because they want to see whether Biden is up to running the country. The truth of the matter is, and I would say this if the shoe was on the other foot, they want it because they want to use it for political purposes, right? If Biden looks, as Hur described, like he's kind of doddering and lost a step and doesn't remember important things, doesn't remember the year Beau Biden, his son, died, they want to use that stuff to cement in people's minds that Biden's not up to this, that he's too old. So what Biden is doing here is he's asserting executive privilege, yes, which is a White House function, but he's doing it to protect himself politically, because the reality of the situation is if there was audio and video of Biden being like, well, I don't know, trailing off, not being able to answer questions, looking old, that would all become fodder. That would all become fodder for the campaign machine. He knows that, and that's why he's exerting executive privilege. Is it a risk? A little bit, yeah, because look, he has criticized Donald Trump, as have many Democrats, for asserting executive privilege over things that he doesn't have executive privilege over. Donald Trump basically has said, I can take any classified document I want without telling anyone or saying I'm taking it because I was the president. And it's understood that there's executive privilege there. No, that's not how any of that works. And this isn't the same thing. To be clear, this is not the same thing. Biden cooperated with the classified documents investigation. The findings were that he did willfully retain stuff, but they didn't charge him, right? There were no charges. So it's not apples to apples. But remember, we're talking about politics here. Politics is not a court of law. What Donald Trump and Republicans are going to say is Joe Biden is hiding something. Joe Biden looks old. Joe Biden looks like he's out of it. Joe Biden does not want these things to become public because it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's too old for this job, right? So Biden opens himself up to that criticism. What it suggests to me is that he probably does look kind of old, and I don't know if out of it's the right word, but slower, that he's lost a step in these audio and video, because otherwise they would release it, right? If he looked sort of vibrant and fine, and they could say, like, this proves that, like, Robert Hur saying he's a well-meaning old man with memory issues is totally wrong, we're going to push this out there so that we can disprove it. So if they could disprove it, they would. The fact that they are using executive privilege to not disprove it means it's probably, he doesn't look great in these tapes. Does that all make sense? Okay, so yes, I made a very brief video about debates. It's now been deleted. So if you saw that, don't worry. Most of what I said was in the the video yesterday. I hope this one's a little more on topic because I just really wanted to talk about it, and I think it's important. Okay, that's all I got today. Subscribe, as always, to this channel. Like this video. Tell 5 friends. All right, see you tomorrow.